Hi everyone, how are you? I wanted to pop on and do a live this week, however we've had some tech issues, so I'm sharing the video instead. So I hope you've had a good week and I hope you've achieved everything that you wanted last week. I had a really good week, landed some new clients and also found out I'm being featured on the Female Entrepreneurs podcast, which is something that I've wanted to do for ages, so I'm really chuffed about that. This week, I wanted to pop on and I wanted to talk to you about your ideal client. Now, we all know how important it is to have an ideal client in mind, but I see so often that people are just putting a very basic ideal client out there. They're saying things like, oh, it's a lady who's got children and she works. That's not enough. You need to know them really well. The way I imagine it is, imagine you're writing a novel. It's the main character. You need to know them that well. You need to know everything about them. So from where they like to go out, to how many children they've got, to who influences them. If they make a big purchase, do they have to speak to anyone about it? Or can they just go and do it themselves? Do they listen to celebrities? Do they listen to influencers? Where do they spend their time online? And the beauty of doing all this preparation work is that you can use it, and you can use it to make every business decision that you ever make. Once you've got your ideal client, you know who you want to serve, and therefore you can make sure that everything you do and every action you take works towards them and selling to them or providing information to them. So you can use it when you're developing products. You can use it to find out what they want you to sell next, what they want you to change about their products, how long they're going to buy your products for, because don't forget, people don't keep buying products forever. There's product life cycles which show that products kind of rise and fall in popularity. And by knowing your ideal client, you can preempt when they're going to be like, no, I've bought this enough, or no, that no longer solves my need. And you can also use your ideal client for pricing. So you can use it to figure out how much you should charge for certain things, whether you should increase your prices, whether you should offer promotions, whether they'd be interested in sharing with their friends. Have they got the same needs as their friends? You can use it for promotions because you can find out where they're going to be online, where they're going to be offline. One of the questions I've seen asked recently lots is, how do I promote my business offline? Or I'm using Facebook and it's not working. It won't work for everyone. That's okay. There are thousands of other promotional activities you can do. If you know your ideal client really well, you'll know where they go in their spare time. You'll know if they go supermarket shopping. You'll know if they go to cafes. If your ideal client is a woman who's likely to go to a cafe, go and leave your leaflets there. You can also use your ideal client for your marketing message. Now, next week, we're going to have a look at this in more detail. However, the main idea behind a marketing message is you need to identify that what your product or service will give to your client, what impact it's going to make on their lives, whether it's going to have a profound impact or whether it's going to be as simple as saving them time. Because once you understand the benefits that you and your product bring, you can then use this in your marketing message and convey quickly and succinctly what benefits you give to your clients. Because so often it's so noisy out there. There's too many things that we're hit with every day. If you read the stats on how much information we're presented with on a daily basis, it's quite incredible. And by using your ideal client research, you can go really deep and you can create a marketing message that rings a bell with them, that taps into what they're concerned about. And that's what we want. We want to differentiate ourselves. And by doing our ideal client work and knowing them really well and using it, we can differentiate ourselves quite quickly. Now, one of the other questions I'm asked is, how do I find out about my ideal client? Now, if you're starting out, it can be quite tricky. What you need to do is think why you're starting this business. Who or what have you heard that makes you think it's going to work? It could be you, it could be the situation you were in 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or it could be a friend, in which case you need to base your ideal client on them. Your ideal client is someone who will love your products. They will love your products, they will love your services, they'll love everything about you. So you need to think, who, if you've worked with people, who have you worked with that is really keen on your products? Who's passed your message on? Sometimes your ideal client won't necessarily stay the same. As you develop in business, you might realise that your ideal client's changed, or you're attracting a new ideal client, in which case it's fine to adapt. I'd re-look at your ideal client every year or so, because people do change, and lifestyles change, and outside factors influence people differently. So if you look at it once a year, it will give you a good basis. If you have found that your ideal client's changed, that's not a problem. You need to obviously know them really well, and if you've already got a client base, you can go out and ask people. You can listen online to what people and what your customers are saying, and what people with similar profiles are saying. So you can go on groups that they're members of. You know, if you're on Facebook and you've got someone that really loves your posts and really loves your products and buys lots from you, then you can go and do some research on them. You can find out where else they hang out. You can go online and say, okay, what groups are they members of? What are they saying? What are other people saying in the groups as well that would give me more information on my client? So an ideal client is a brilliant place to start, especially now. We're about 11 days into January, and it's all becoming a bit overwhelming. All those goals that we've set ourselves, they're brilliant, but they seem further away sometimes. So an ideal client profile is a great place to start. So if you're not sure what to do next, or you feel like your ideal client is slightly out of sync, or maybe you haven't gone too deep, spend some time this week working out who they are, what they do, where they live, who they live with, who influences them. Get to know them really well. Imagine you're writing that novel and they're your main character. You need to know them as well as yourself. And then stick it somewhere that you're going to see all the time. Make sure that it's visible and clearly visible, so that every time you have a decision to make, you can go and refer to them. And use it in every decision you make. And if you've got something to decide, think, what would my ideal client want? It's a great place to start. So next week I'll be on live about my marketing, about marketing messages and my process for creating them. So we're going to that really detailed. It might not be Monday as we've got a family funeral to go to, but it will be another day next week. So let me know how you get on with your ideal client. I'll be sharing lots on Facebook in the meantime. But have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.